All right, welcome in, Tauruses. This is your June monthly tarot reading. So welcome in. Thank you all for your patience, as you guys are the last video posted for the zodiac signs, and it is a bit late. So I'm actually going to, at the end of the reading, pull a special message for you guys that I didn't do for anyone else. So watch to the end to check that out. So yeah, we are coming into the summer solstice shortly. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. So how has the month been treating you so far? I guess we'll take a look and see, maybe since you guys, this is well into June, that you'll kind of get either some confirmation, like, oh yeah, that happened. That's what, that was the first 2 weeks of the month, or what? What do we got? So the monthly themes and reflections for June. So we have communication, growth, and learning. So you might already feel like, yep, that's really come into the forefront for me. How am I communicating? What are the blocks in my communication? If you have a blocked throat chakra, that could really be coming through for you. If you're feeling any symptoms in the throat, that's usually a sign of a blocked throat chakra, whether it's sore throat, hoarse throat, lost your voice, struggling with finding the right words to say. You know, it's really about connecting, to really communicate, right? That's connecting our authentic self, our heart and our mind together, and being able to communicate in a way that people are receptive to. You know, you're not on an extreme of like, I'm only communicating very harshly or with anger or bluntly. I'm not on the other extreme is people who don't communicate at all, right? They're just agreeing with everyone. They're not really saying how they feel or what they're thinking. They kind of just, you know, again, it's very surface level stuff. Harmonizing our communications is we can, you know, talk surface level, but we can also dive deep, and we can also really communicate. It's about communicating how we really feel and communicating our truth, no matter how it's received, right? And that's the key. It's not being afraid to communicate, even though we don't know how it's going to be received. There is going to be people in life, this is just the physical reality, that aren't going to like what we have to say, that aren't going to agree with our truths, that aren't going to be receptive to what we have to say. And that's, again, part of us being able to harmonize within, to deal with any sort of scenario or people within our lives and understand. Because usually if people are never going to understand our truth and not be receptive of it, that's usually a red flag too, of just, we're not on the same vibrational level with that person. And, you know, that's for you to decide then. It's not about you trying to force someone to understand you or to make changes because you want them to. It's about you being who you are, expressing and communicating, learning from the past, learning from our mistakes, and then also then choosing for ourselves. Well, is this somebody or relationship or situation that, you know, again, if it's not filling me, if it's not understanding me or valuing me, or if we're just on totally different, you know, maybe we have completely different values, it might not be the right relationship to, you know, to put fuel into. So, and that's the learning and growing, right? They're all kind of connected. So that's, I want to call it those themes. The last thing I kind of been talking through each zodiac sign. So I had a couple people ask about my books. I have authored 2 books, so I just wanted to quick put a, for those of you who had questions about them, it's called The Sum of Everything. There's book 1 and 2. They are available on Amazon. I haven't checked. They used to be available on barnesandnoble.com or the online. You can check there too. But if you're interested, what they're about, it's the human existence in relation to heaven. They actually have nothing to do with tarot. It's more a metaphysical, spiritual, and it's diving deep just into the sum of everything and anything of this reality, of the divine, of energies, of our emotions. So, yeah, I just wanted to call that out. So there's that. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram, my TikTok. I have an Etsy shop as well. So I think all of that is in my bio. I don't think I have TikTok in there, but if you go on TikTok and just search Lyran Tarot, you should find me there. So, all right, let's dive in. Taurus, what's going on in June for you? What's any messages and guidance that can help you in the highest and best way? So the first card out, we have Inner Peace with the fish. In Adventures, like these two. And then Wonders. Woo. Taurus, this is looking like a good month for you. Maybe some, and it's funny, I just saw this, so I'm going to pull it, opportunity. So maybe there is some opportunity here for adventures, a trip, some experience that opens itself up to you. I do feel like it's going to help open you up to new wonders in life. And it's through these experiences that tap into our bliss, that tap into our wonders, our soul. That's where we're going to dive into this peace, this harmony and balance. And part of harmony, we don't realize, is that to create harmony and peace in our lives, we actually have to open ourselves up to all the possibilities in life, to having fun, to new adventures, to new experiences, because our soul wants to continue to expand. So no matter who you are, your personality, your experience, your lack thereof, your soul wants to expand. It's only that you were programmed to believe, usually as a child, right, that, to close ourselves off. Because we come into the world curious and inquisitive and adventurous and wanting to experience things and understand things and open to people, to places, to things. Like, we really don't have those biased, whether they're beliefs or unconscious biases, or close ourselves off from experiences, unless we were trained or programmed by our environment, our families, our culture, societies. And what happens is we really press those aspects of us down. And I feel like, Taurus, for you in June, you're connecting more to these parts of yourself. And part of that is being open to adventure. And I feel like there's going to be an opportunity, however that shows up for you, to have an adventure, to connect more to the peace that you can find and to some new wondrous things in this life. So I love this. This is beautiful. So the first card out is Five of Pentacles. So one big thing, if you constantly tend to use money as an excuse of why you can't do something, or always worried about money, or always feel like, I don't have enough, that is a belief, a lack mentality belief. A lot of people tend to justify it with the physical world. Like, look at my bank account. Okay, I only have this much money in it. So this is truth. Like, I'm not just being, ridiculous. But in reality, again, it's learning to open up to realize that the physical reality, we keep thinking it's the truth. In reality, the physical is just an expression of, it's almost like when we think of the Matrix. It truly is. It is an expression of physical form based on energy. So the energy, it's like we truly are the magician in the tarot deck. We are using and manipulating energies to then manifest, to manipulate, and then experience some sort of physical reality that mirrors our internal energies, our internal truths. And it's because you have that much money in your bank account because it's mirroring kind of, again, what's happening internally. So it's not that you can't experience this. Every single person on this planet has the potential. And, I would argue anyone, especially, who's not in some third world country, probably isn't watching these videos. But if you're watching these videos, you all have the capability to be able to make changes and manifest a different reality. And that includes the number in your bank account. We have the 8 of Wands. So yeah, this could really be around a trip. It could be around a trip. It could be around moving. Or love. I mean, the arrows of the 8 of Wands can refer to Cupid's arrows about love coming in. But it maybe there's where, for some of you, you've been feeling out in the cold from a relationship standpoint. Like it's been kind of bleak. You've been single, or there has been no potential here. So however this 8 of Wands, resonates for you, it is in that aspect. There's something that you want to bring in, but I feel like either it's money that has been blocking you, or it's just more of an energy frequency of like, feeling out in the cold. The 5 of Pentacles refers to a lack of feeling, a lack of fulfillment, a lack of warmth, a lack of experience, of some sort of physical experience. So we have the Page of Swords, the Empress, and the 2 of Cups. So I definitely feel like this could be around some relationship, or finding someone that can do something with you, Taurus, having somebody or connections that you can travel with, or having the ability to move or make some shifts in your life. There is some sort of new path opening up though, and then there's the Death card. So there's a huge change and transformation that's you're on the precipice of, that's going to be unfolding for you soon. We're talking about June here. So by the end of June, you see the new path. It could be in regards to some sort of shift, transformation in your relationship department. So for some of you, that could be someone new coming in that's opening up some new, again, new adventures to be had. And this Page of Swords, Empress. So this could involve somebody specific, and that could be the new love interest. There could be someone here that you start to connect with. This could be online. It could be somehow you connect and start texting, or, again, communicating in some way here. And that's what kind of pushes off Cupid's arrows here. So this does seem to be more relationship tied here. There could be some caution here about this situation or this person, and just kind of like, oh, I'm interested or whatever, but let's see. It's like getting more information and taking it slow. That could be that Page of Swords. But there is a fresh new energy coming in. Things are shifting quickly with this 8 of Wands out of a period maybe where you felt like kind of a desert in a sense. Like there hasn't been opportunities to do stuff, or people, or opportunities, or people coming in that are potential. Hey, these are people or somebody I really like, if you've been single. All right, let's keep going. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, and the 3 of Cups. So I just heard when I pulled the 6 of Pentacles, like people who can bring more to the table. Okay, so this to me is referring to new opportunities for either friendships or love, relationship type, but people who can bring something to the table, who are adding value that are equally adding value here. So you could have, been in relationships or even friendships in the past where people were more takers, that maybe you have more to offer than the people you were attracting into your life. Maybe there's even friendships that you've had for a long time and you just realize, like, what value do they add to my life, where it's like, I keep trying to add value. I keep trying to maintain this connection or do stuff with this person. And what are they giving back? And there's some imbalance there. So, with the Seven of Swords and Three of Cups too, I don't like that energy. That's definitely like a third party energy in a very negative sense of, like, people are really maybe potentially lying. They're hiding something. And there's that third party energy. So if this was a relationship pattern for you, where maybe you were betrayed in the past, someone cheated on you, or you found out they were, had a relationship on the side, or maybe it was, one of their exes that they just couldn't let go of, that always, all this kept, being in the picture here, even though they're like, oh, we're not together anymore. But like, there is some sort of, I don't like that energy, these two cards together. That's definitely betrayal, someone lying about something, and that energies consistently keeps popping up and obviously is a problem, whether it's a friend or they're kind of, that's takers too, right? They're trying to take as much as they can to steal from you. So we have the Judgment card, the Nine of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. So this could be something that really kind of blew up for you in the recent past, or just you finally like really seeing how unequal certain relationships were in your life. Like the Judgment, it's like this, the universe is really like blowing the horn in your face. Like, you can't not see this anymore. Like, if you were in denial or just kind of like, oh, it's fine. No, you're really seeing something or a pattern or a person for what it really is. And I feel like this could be a little PTSD too around the Nine of Swords, of like this anxiety of like, if you were betrayed or lied to in the past, it does create a little anxiety and caution when dealing with future people or relationships. Like, can I trust them? Like, to me, that's around some trust issues. Can I trust people? Can I trust this person? It could be someone you're dealing with right now. And that's where, too, this Death card could mean really finally seeing like you're finally seeing things clearly. You're realizing, like, you're almost, to me, this is like your intuition is telling you something. And yet you're like, why am I anxious around this person? Like, why am I feeling like something's off? And it's because you're picking up on something that's hidden that they're not telling you, or lies, or just anxious, because that's usually like a hit from your internal compass saying this person isn't good for you and could lead to long-term challenges and suffering. And that's that thing with the Knight of Pentacles. This could be a pattern or a lesson. To me, that's like a lesson here. The pentacle here is like it can refer to like the lesson that it's just been a long road of the same lesson over and over again. And it's just like, when am I going to learn this? Like, this keeps dragging on. It could be a relationship that has been dragging on. And it's just kind of like been the steady Eddie thing in your life. Like, it's like, okay, it's something, in some weird way, we tend to hold on to something because it does bring some value, but that value can be something negative. Like, well, it provides me some sense of comfort that there's somebody there, even though it really isn't giving you anything good energetically. But This could also refer to a pattern of third-party energy that is just like, okay, when am I going to learn the lesson here? When is it going to end? Knight of Wands, the Eight of Cups. Yeah, definitely walking away from something. So, you know, now that we have the full picture, it is really picking up the vibe here for this reading of like walking away from a relationship that has not been good. This person has been hiding something or just not fully expressing their truth. There's definitely third-party energy here. This person, it's like, it's almost like Alice is you and you're surrounded by, this could be one person or a pattern of people that are very, someone you can't really rely on. This is a very immature energy that lends to more people that are kind of selfish. On the extreme could lead to like people who are more narcissistic. And then like people who are just not emotionally available, like the King of Swords. Like they think they're irresponsible and they you know, they value more intellect and ideas more than emotions or love. And you're kind of like, you know what, I need more than this. I want depth. I want emotional availability. I want someone who can add value, not just because, okay, it's somebody to hang out with, but they add value in the sense of like, from a life perspective. Like usually when we want a relationship, we want someone to, you know, essentially build a life with. But what can they bring to the table from that sense? Like, how do you build with someone who does, if you have to build everything and they just kind of, you know, jump into your castle? Like, you want someone who's building their life and can bring some value at whatever level that you're looking for. So I do feel like this could have been a pattern in your past. It could be someone that's still lingering that you haven't fully wrapped up the situation yet, and that's where this Death card, Eight of Cups, is, because I do feel like the Oracle cards are indicating there's going to be new opportunities opening up for new paths for you. Maybe right now you're not seeing ahead in the future and seeing much potential because you're still so stuck in this situation or these energies. But, you know, what's coming up is adventure, is opportunities, is more peace and experiences that really intrigue your wonder, your sense of curiosity, and someone that's more aligned to this Empress energy. Okay, you've had the Knight of Wands and the King of Swords, but the Empress is like, you know, and that could go for men and women who are watching. It doesn't just mean like for men with the Empress. I mean, this is just somebody who really encompasses, who is really elevated, because the Empress and the Emperor really represent all of the kings and all of the queens. So they are really at a high level, and it also refers to your soulmate. So it could just refer to somebody who really is that soulmate that, you know, is your best match, who's ready, who really aligns with you and what you want. So I do like that Empress and the Two of Cups here. You could, again, I feel this hesitation, like you could really feel this person, like, oh, this person has potential. But with that Page of Swords, I feel like because of your past, maybe you're more cautious and discerning, and you're gonna approach this more. And maybe in the past you tended to like jump into things very quickly, and kind of that fool's rush in. And I feel like you definitely have shifted from that because of what you've experienced in the past. And maybe that's the lesson here, is that you tend to jump in to the deep end right off the bat without really understanding who this person is, like ignoring red flags, things like that. So what's this Seven of Swords, Three of Cups? Let's get some more information about that. Yeah, Three of Swords. Definitely some sort of pattern that of betrayal, of people really doing you wrong here, and you've had a lot of heartache around that. So I was looking at this Eight of Cups, King of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of conflict here, so it could refer to, again, a specific relationship. There's a lot of conflicting things about this person and this connection here. Maybe you fight a lot. You just don't see eye to eye. You don't want the same things. Your values are different. Like, there's a lot of different factors at play here. There's resistance with the Five of Wands. So especially with these two cards, it's like somebody who's really resistant to really, you know, being able to connect from true intimacy here. They always keep someone at, you know, at a certain length, right? They're not really letting you in a sense, and you feel it. Don't let people gaslight you either, or try to say, oh no, that's just you, and you're just, no, like, if you feel it, and you know, like, and that's the thing, there's a fine line there, especially people who are anxiously attached. You know, it's being able to identify, like, is this just my anxiety? Like, is this person honest, authentic, open, really wants to have a relationship with me, is showing up for me, and I still have anxiety? Because then that's more your anxious attachment, or especially here, right? Anxious attachment, Nine of Swords. Or is this person shady? Is this person never shows up for me, or is not wants to commit? Every time I talk about a future with this person, you know, all they want to do is talk about themselves. When I ask them to show up for me, do they not show up for me? Is it always what they want? And really, maybe they can't talk about emotions. They're very avoidant. I mean, there's so many different angles here, but I think that's the theme of this reading, is just unhealthy relationship dynamics that you've been dealing with. And it's time to shift and transform out of this. And again, June is a big month. There was a big portal energy on the 6/6 date. And what it was really doing is opening up like an energetic door for us to walk through. But part of that walking through that door is really, we have to be cleansed of things that don't align with the new path. And this could be, this situation for sure does not align with the new path. So if you feel like it's definitely getting more intense, or you feeling more like, yeah, like over it, and that you're really thinking of ending this, and that's the anxiety too of, how am I going to do this? That's definitely because there's something, you know, more destined things ready for you, new things. Okay. So so let me go. I totally forgot the cards I wanted to pull for your last message. So give me a second here. Okay. So I'm going to actually pull a card from the Gaia Oracle here. I love these cards. These have bigger messages on them, so I don't use them all the time. But I definitely want to pull one of these Gaia Oracles for you guys for some just more guidance around the reading. This is how we're going to end it, with just one of these cards to get an overall guidance around what all these messages, the specific reading. So for Tauruses, and this one just flipped over. So it is the Purification Water card, emotional cleansing and rejuvenation. Okay, and I'm going to read that for you guys. So really this, you know, I was picking up on that. There's something around just lack of emotional fulfillment here. Lack of emotion, lack of depth from a relationship love perspective. And that seems to be kind of your focus here, especially with whatever situation you were dealing with or that you're currently dealing with. There's definitely a lack there. So this card signifies healing and rejuvenation, which comes as a result of emotional cleansing. In the coming days, you may experience some emotional turmoil. Deep feelings, deep feelings that you thought you had already dealt with or previously resolved resurface seemingly out of nowhere. Do not be concerned, for a profound healing is taking place, and at the end of this process, you will feel all the better for it. The lady featured on this card emerges from the deep waters of her emotions into the light of a new day. Emotionally cleansed and rejuvenated, she is now ready to move fully into her power, free of the emotional baggage that she previously carried. And all of this is the emotional baggage. You know, the heartache from the past, the betrayals, the third party energy, just, again, people that could not show up for you, immaturity, potentially narcissistic people, not, really deep loving people. And that's what this death card is that transformation from an emotional standpoint. And that's really the new day that's dawning for you, is the oracle cards, is the peace, is the adventures, is the wonders, the opportunities. So that's what's coming for you, Taurus. So whatever you're going through, there is a new day dawning. And if you felt like it never would come, it is coming for you. So, well, Tauruses, thank you for joining in. I hope this helped you all. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet. And like I said, check out all my other social media stuff, my Etsy shop. And yeah, if this reading didn't resonate, it seems kind of specific, but take a look at your other rising sign, moon, Venus, or sun, if this Taurus is not your sun sign, because you'll definitely get a message from one of them. So I would take a look. But otherwise, have a good June, and I will see you in the next reading, Tauruses. Bye for now.